What's up, Internet? My name is Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
We are back in Toronto, which means that we have the technology necessary to do our spoiler chat for Peacemaker, the finale, but also episode 7, because we didn't do that one. So, double dose of spoilers. Finish the whole season. Come watch this video. It's going to be a good time, because we get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That is right. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the 2 finale episodes, the penultimate and I guess the ultimate episode of Peacemaker. This is the James Gunn directed, written, produced series where James Gunn got to do whatever he wanted, and what he wanted to do was kill a bunch of racists.
And honestly, it was great.
It was fun. Let's start with episode 7.
Yeah, we totally meant to do episode 7 and like film that while we were in LA. But the internet at hotels is not great.
We should have at least filmed it, but then we were tired.
No, the problem was that we remember we only made it like 15% of the way through the episode because the internet was so bad we couldn't even watch it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that we didn't even finish watching the episode until we got to Vancouver.
Yeah, we tried. Yeah. No, we watched it here at home.
No, we watched it in Vancouver. Didn't we?
Why? How in Vancouver? We were in Vancouver for 7 hours. Oh my god.
I have no memory.
It's fine. Yeah.
But I remember the episodes, which is what we're here to talk about. Yes. Peacemaker. Episode 7. So this is a couple weeks old now, but episode 7 starts with Peacemaker in the fallout of the butterflies taking over the police station. All the police are butterflies, and the police have that dang diary that Adebayo has snuck into the Peacemaker trailer, and everyone immediately knows that she did that.
Yeah.
Like Harcourt is like, it was you, and she's like, it was me, and I was like, how did that was a leap for Harcourt to make, but I guess
she's suspicious.
I guess it makes sense.
Well, and she's pretty guilty about it. She wasn't feeling too good about her choices.
It's true. It is true.
Which is fair, they were friends, and she did betray Peacemaker.
Yeah, because Amanda Waller told her to. Look, if Amanda Waller tells you to do something, you do it. You don't cross the wall.
If my mom tells me to do anything, I don't.
No. But your mom is not Amanda Waller.
Yeah, but
if your mom regularly killed supervillains,
okay, but
because they pissed her off,
okay, but
it is a different relationship.
Okay, but here's the thing. You and I would never say no to Amanda Waller, right? You and I. But, you get daughter privileges, right?
No.
Yeah.
Not when your mom is Amanda Waller.
You're right.
Especially Viola Davis. You don't say no to Viola Davis.
That's true.
Not because she would kill you, but, it's Viola Davis.
Why would you say no to Viola Davis?
Yeah, if she tells you to do something, you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I have no disagreement. I would, yeah.
That is facts. Straight
She's
facts.
kind of woman, you're just like, yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah, so...
I've watched How to Get Away with Murder. She knows how to get away with murder. You do what she says.
Yeah, I listen. I'm a good listener.
So, Peacemaker's upset. Chris.
Rightfully so.
I keep wanting to call him John Chris, but I think that's a steakhouse. But it's John Cena and Chris Smith. But I'm pretty sure there's a John Chris Steakhouse.
I've never heard of it.
Or maybe it's Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
There is a Ruth Chris, I think.
Wow, my brain today is Swiss cheese. But John is pissed. And so he's like, well, we got to go take out the cow anyway because there's nothing we can do. Let's just at least go do that. And he's like, let's go, Vigilante. Let's go, John Economos. And, you just see Steve G be doing his full Steve G thing, being great, being one of the highlights of the series. And he's like, I'm not, no. All right.
My favorite part is when he's like, oh, God damn it, you gotta go. And he's going through, grabbing all this stuff. He goes to find, to open the door where Judo Master is supposed to be. He's not there. And he's like, I don't have time for this right now. I can't do it. I cannot deal with this. And just moves on. And I was like, that was so perfect.
Yeah, Judo Master can recover from gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
To the chest and be fine.
Indestructible. Maybe that armor is just really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or you know what? It's those Flamin' Hot Cheetos. They do something to you.
It is the magic of the Flaming Hot Cheeto.
Yeah.
A food you've never consumed.
Absolutely not. I can't handle
How many subscribers to get you to eat a Flaming Hot Cheeto?
How many, when I hit a goal or in a certain time period?
No, yeah, a goal to make you eat a Flaming Hot Cheeto on stream.
One single Cheeto.
Yeah, a single Flaming Hot... No, not a Cheeto. A Flaming Hot Cheeto.
Damn it. Okay. 50,000. Okay, 15,000, and I will.
All right, so like
just have to double my subscriber count.
a year from now.
Yeah. That's like
right.
next year Claris's problem, you know?
Yeah, so we get this sort of like split storyline for the rest of this episode, right? Peacemaker, Economos, and Vigilante are on the way to the cow, and we see Harcourt and Adebayo go back to their hotel room to try and clear out because the butterflies know where they are, and it's bad.
We're gonna peace out.
And the butterflies break into Mern's room as he's warned everyone. They know they gotta go. And Mern is he's ready to clear out. You think he's going to be an important part of the finale.
Nope, he's dead.
No, he's dead.
He gets brutally murdered.
Yeah, brutal. And I didn't expect to be so moved watching a butterfly get squished in a hand.
Oh yeah.
But like I was like, no, Mern.
Yeah, that was
Mern.
that. Didn't like that at all. And then the moment where like Harcourt like picks him up and he's like, oh, God.
Yeah, they gave him a little ET phone home moment. And, at the moment, you're like, wow, Mern is really, like, a good guy. And, like, you learn later, like, we're going to get to it, but, like, it's a little complicated. It's a little complicated.
And that's what makes the show so good, right? Yeah. Everything is a little bit complicated because that's how it is in real life. There are very few things that are black and white, right and wrong. Most of the time, it's a very gray area. And I love it. I love it when shows can really capture that in a way that just feels like real, right? That's not like put on. And I think that like it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Like Peacemaker's so out there, right? It's so out there. It's so kind of next level. I mean, with like with the gore and the comedy, like it's very like larger than life in a lot of those elements of it. Yeah. But the characters actually aren't like actually have like real people problems. Like they're relatable.
100%. They're grounded in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really remarkable to be able to have both things exist simultaneously.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah. Let's just get through let's stick with the Harcourt and Adebayo. So they come in, they find Mern, he's dead, and Harcourt's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. We need him to succeed here. And meanwhile, Judo Master has been out and about. Judo Master, first stop, if you've been shot, first stop, it's got to be a 7-Eleven because you need those flaming hot Cheetos. Yeah. Apparently. And then he beats up a couple of guys for being racist. And like, if you're a racist, this episode is not great for you. It's just not. Like, if you're a fan of racists, first of all, woof.
Yikes.
Ay.
There's the door.
But second of all, if watching the villains of this episode get taken out systematically made you uncomfortable because you related to them,
check yourself.
You've got some stuff to figure out, my friend. But I had a lot of fun watching Judo Master just beat up the two guys outside of the 7-Eleven, and the guy operating the store, who is also a person of color, be like, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, he knows.
He was like, yeah, F those guys. And I was like, yeah, F those guys.
Yeah.
Also, I want to appreciate that Judo Master, despite being a villain, we'll get to that at the end, manages to beat those two guys up without destroying any of the property of the store owner.
Yes. Very considerate. Very considerate.
If you're going to beat up people in public, make sure that you don't create more work for the employees of the local establishment. They are underpaid and they don't need more to do. They're already busy.
No, it's very considerate. It's very nice of him.
But then Judo Master does try to save his butterfly fronds, and he goes to the place he knew that they were headed, which is the apartment building. I'm assuming because he heard Adebayo and Harcourt talking about that before they left the headquarters.
Yeah.
So I think that he's just kind of following the path of where he knows. You would think he would have like an ability to call someone and be like, "Yo, what's the plan?"
They took his phone.
Yeah, he shows up, and we get another great Judo Master action sequence here in the hotel room with Adebayo and Harcourt. Really, like, Harcourt takes it to him. She's got some skills.
Oh, God. Yeah. I like her.
Okay, well, I'll just give you some space here.
She can step on me any day. That's fine.
She's. I think she is the number one of the show for me.
Yeah.
Like, her arc as a character, the performance, the way she's written. Harcourt really, I love everyone. Like, the whole team I really love. But Harcourt to me really is the linchpin of this show. It makes a lot of it work for me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, Adebayo gets some action in there.
And
And
that was fun.
what I really appreciated about this fight sequence is like the action was great, but at the end of it, we do get that moment where Harcourt has her opinion of Adebayo has changed, right? Like seeing Adebayo reluctantly step into this action sequence with her and have her back in this moment changes her opinion on whether or not Adebayo should leave. And Adebayo's opinion doesn't change, right? She doesn't see what Harcourt sees in that moment. She sees this situation as a reason to GTFO.
Yeah.
And like she is like, I'm done. I'm going to my wife. I will drive you to Chris. I will like set you guys up for the rest of the journey, but I'm not coming for the rest of the journey. I'm out. And Harcourt's like, you just helped me fight Judo Master, right? Like, maybe you are more built for this. And I really appreciate when these series use the action, and not just the dialogue and not just the character scenes, but the action to help inform our characters' opinions of each other.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to see between these two women in this scene with Judo Master, who is ostensibly taken off of the table for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And he gets his like final fight, and thankfully he's not dead, because I'm excited to see more of him in season 2, which has been announced.
Yeah.
He's a really cool character.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what season 2 is. I'm assuming it's continuing on with the butterflies, because we know.
I don't see how it could.
Well, what's his face survived?
Who?
The main butterfly.
Goff?
Goff, yeah. Goff survived.
Yeah, but there's no more food, so they're all gonna die.
Maybe she gets a ship and goes...
Spoilers for our spoiler chat.
Spoiler, yeah. If you're here, you already know.
Well, let's talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Let's get to that after we talk about what happens in episode 8.
That is fair.
So cut
Got ahead
to
of myself.
we finished up with them. Let's cut to John Cena, John Economos, and Vigilante. They're in a truck. They're headed out there, and the promise from the end of episode 6 happens. We see the white dragon suit in full display. I am disappointed that this guy is a racist villain, because I actually like that costume.
The suit looks really cool. Yeah.
I think the costume's dope, and I wish that he was either like a hero or a villain that would be more fun to have stick around.
No.
But we kind of get what we thought was coming. We'll talk about how it did not happen the way that I thought it was going to happen.
Okay.
But that white dragon, he comes in. We find out that he's got a tracker in all the Peacemaker helmets, because of course an abusive piece of crap father like that would have too much of an attachment to his own son. And he goes right through that truck with his super fly boots. And from here on out, we get sort of the action I never expected, which was that Peacemaker's dad has like repulsor technology.
Yeah. Oh, like is straight up Stark tech. Or wrong universe, but
he's an evil Iron Man.
Yeah, kind of. I was kind of surprised. It's like, how does this guy have access to these things? And they don't really talk about it.
His dad's a genius. Like his dad is like a super duper genius.
All right.
Because he can just make this stuff. Like, you know, if he was a good dude, you'd wonder like what he could accomplish for the good of humanity. But instead, of course, it's this
He's
like
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a very fair fight at the beginning, right? Because they get taken by surprise, and that truck crash really hurts them all.
Yeah.
So Vigilante
just blows everybody up,
including himself, to give John and Chris time to run away.
Yeah.
And
you say John and Chris, and I'm like Peacemaker, but it's the character.
Chris is John.
I know. It's yeah.
Peacemaker and Economos get away. And I love that the racists are all like, all right, let's go after Peacemaker. So they all get up and they go, and they don't like check Vigilante, and he's fine. And so he goes and he just gets in their car. And he's like, you left your keys. Yeah.
It's like, wow, he's so mad. He's like, oh, I was in a hurry. I was like, you left your key in the car. All right.
Here's the thing. As someone who has driven my whole life, I've never left my keys in the car, like ever. And like I've never had it's not like it's any less time for me to unignite, to unignite the car, take the key out. It's not less time for me to like put it on the dashboard or put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like those are the same to me.
Maybe he just left it running. Like he didn't even like take the key out of the car.
I mean, if you're in a rush, that makes sense.
That's probably
I do that
what happened.
all the time. Oh yeah, you just leave the car running, you run out, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I do it when I go check the mail at I drive around, and then I like leave the car running so I can run in, check the mail, run back in, and get going in case someone gets behind me in that spot.
He probably thought it was gonna be like a really short fight. You know what I mean? He's like, this guy's got basically superpowered technology, so like,
Daddy's got powers. And so
so Vigilante just like drives himself into a ditch.
Yeah, but Peacemaker figures out where the tracker is real quick, which, you know, I do appreciate about the show that they've given Peacemaker more intelligence than I think a different writer would have. I think that with the level of comedy that we've had with him, I think that it is easy to write him off as dumb.
Yeah.
And the show never really writes him off as dumb. It just writes him off as he has a very particular perspective, right?
Yes.
And I think that it's really interesting to watch that perspective be portrayed in someone who is intelligent and has just never been given the opportunity to really like elevate himself.
Yeah.
In intellectual ways, he's always elevated himself through like physical ability, right?
Yeah. It's one of those things where like your upbringing and your environment are so important, right? And he does some really like off color things. Like you're like, dude, why would you say or do those things? But when your dad is that guy and you have these learned behaviors and this learned way of thinking, like, yeah, of course he does stuff that like is weird to normal people. Like, it's gonna be what I think is gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be a long journey with Peacemaker because the heart is there.
Yeah, the
good intention is there. It's that you have all these years of like unlearning awful behaviors and patterns of thought, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot to dismantle, and and they've got season 2, so I think we're gonna see Peacemaker go on a really interesting journey.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it because I like characters who are deeply flawed and are showing the desire to change their flaws.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing that we've gotten from season 1 isn't that Peacemaker is a good person. It's that he wants to be a good person and he is willing to do the work to get there. And I don't think at the end of the season he's there, but I think he's very open to it. And obviously he's re-traumatized himself because White Dragon and his team, they figure out what's going on. And of course, Vigilante has brought all of the helmets with him because he thinks they might be important. And they're in the trunk when Peacemaker runs into him. And so the white racists catch up to them.
They put the helmet on the raccoon first.
That's
very funny to try to like lead them away. But obviously that doesn't hold up for very long, and they catch up to them because the other helmets are in the trunk of the car. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know when that happened, but
me neither. They must have been in the van.
They were in the truck. So Vigilante must have gone into the truck to get the helmets.
Yeah.
Then gone to the car, which is possible, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a little weird. But yeah, so the other helmets are there, so obviously White Dragon's able to track Peacemaker and
so just
family.
As they realize that, they throw the helmets in the woods, and then the racists come out of the woods full force, and Peacemaker's pretty banged up, so they get their licks in. They're stomping on him pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you were at this point you were like, why aren't they shooting them? Because they have guns.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I think they know that this has to come down to a father-son dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this has to come down to those two men facing off. And they don't want to take the kill of Chris away from their leader.
Yeah, but they also didn't shoot at the other people either.
Yeah, but I feel like they were not in a, like, killing mood. They were in a, like, take prisoners, get... You know, like, I feel like... I felt justified in that. No, they don't.
Yeah, the guns come out later. And
no, they're holding them in while they're kicking him. They're holding them up, right?
Yeah, but then they start shooting later, and it's like, well, why didn't you start shooting at his friends before? Like, his friends don't matter, right? It's Peacemaker that matters.
I don't think they ever shoot, right? I think John is the only one who shoots. Economos is the only one who shoots. He gets one of the guns and then he kills all the racists in a great scene. You know what? One of the things I love about the show is that Economos got so many reluctant hero moments.
Yeah.
Because he gets to kill and I think that, like, James Gunn did this intentionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he gets kind of all the hero moments. He takes out Judo Master with the golf club. He takes out the gorilla with the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
And then he takes out the majority of the racists other than White Dragon with the machine gun here.
Yeah.
And I think it was very intentional to have Economos get those 3 moments before we get that emotional moment with him over the walkie-talkie in the finale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, Economos gets one of those guns somehow, and he just bullet sprays.
Yeah, it was great.
Racists are gone, thank God. It reminded me, there's this guy in Red Dead Online who likes to go around and just kill the Ku Klux Klan. And it reminded me of that. And it brought me like a similar kind of joy where I was like, those guys.
Like, get it.
But then it's daddy. It's time to face daddy. And one of them is very banged up and the other is in a super suit. So for a minute there, it's not going very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was legitimately like worried for a moment. I was like, oh, maybe. I was like, I'm not 100% sure I know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
You know, especially in a lot of superhero stuff, you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. And I legitimately wasn't sure what they were going to do to wrap up this episode. And so when Peacemaker gets a gun and shoots his dad in the head, I almost was not expecting it. Like, I wanted him to kill his dad, right? His dad's not a good person and is irredeemable, and we talked about that already.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But it still was a little bit of a shock to me when he actually did it.
I genuinely thought that Vigilante was going to kill his dad. I thought that Peacemaker was going to be like, I can't kill, you're my dad. Like, I hate you and you're a bad person and like, I'm acknowledging all of your faults, but you're still my dad. And I think that like, it's okay to have that, for that to be that complicated, right? Like, I don't think that you should have to want to murder your parent. And I thought Vigilante was going to step in and do it for him as a moment of friendship, right? Like take that off of your plate. Yeah. But obviously his dad had to die. I don't think there was a world where his dad could have been kept alive. Yeah. And without it being like icky. Yeah. And even if they were like, well, we need you to help us fight the aliens. Like I think that would have been uncomfortable, and I'm glad they didn't go that way. Yep. Which is what I said in a previous spoiler chat. But the moment his dad definitely earns it even more than he already did by hurting Eagly.
Like, oh my god, right, he punches Eagly.
Yeah. And I was like, did they just kill? There's no way they killed Eagly. Yeah. There's no way
like, if Eagly dies, we riot.
I said that in that moment. And so Vigilante, he hurts Eagly. Vigilante does get his lick in. He hurts the suit with some of his little action there, which is always good to see. I love this character Vigilante so much.
Yeah, I cannot believe he's built him up.
I can't believe he's recast.
He's perfect. Like, honestly, he's perfect. He's hilarious.
Is he anything like the comic version of Adrian Chase? No. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. If you say so.
Adrian Chase in the comics, Vigilante is a defense attorney who's like, he's a lawyer. Like, he's like a put together like lawyer character.
No.
So this is a very different version of that character, but a very funny one and very well acted by the actor who replaced the other actor. But we get that moment. We get Peacemaker pointing a gun at his dad's head, and his dad is like, "You're not gonna do this." Yeah. And Peacemaker does. He shoots his own dad, and whoop. Yeah. And we get this moment afterwards. We get this zoom in on John Cena's face, and the dude is acting for his life.
And it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great performance.
Like, holy hell. Like, I just never would have expected so much from John Cena. Like, I don't know. And maybe that's not fair of me, but he's just blown me away. Like, really, like, just, blown my expectations out the window. And I have to say, like, fantastic. Well done.
Well, and it's so funny, right? Because, like, obviously he's come a long way from, like, his early movie roles in, like, The Marine, which is just, it's not good. And I was like, oh, like, John Cena's great in WWE, but maybe he just doesn't have that, like, those chops, right? Right. And I think that he's proven otherwise in everything since, right? Trainwreck. He was so funny. He's so good in that movie. And I was like, oh, I want to see more John Cena outside of, like, the wrestling ring. And he's consistently put in these good performances. And they've mostly been comedy, right? Like, he's really leaned into the fact that I think he's a very funny person. Oh, yeah. Clearly, he was in the WWE. You don't get to be the kind of wrestler that he was without being a successful, not comedian, but, like, funny face for the league. Yeah. And he's put in all of this time into, like, how to make people laugh, how to keep an audience engaged. And it led up to the Suicide Squad, where I thought he was really funny and had a really fun character. Yep. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a good performance of like this another comedic role for John Cena. For him to turn that around for this show, where it's still funny, he's still so like comedically engaging throughout this entire series, but for the first time in my opinion, I've seen him give a role where I was like, oh, you're like a actor, like you're giving like emotional depth to scenes in a way that I've never seen from him before. And you know, I love watching people grow as creators and as entertainers and as actors, and the growth that he's on and like the trajectory of his career now that he's giving performances like this. I can't wait to see the next John Cena production. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see the next thing he does. I hope he does something like super serious and takes some of the comedy out and really like dives into these deeper chops that he's showing he has.
100%.
Because it's really incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets that like single tier moment that actors always want in their things, and it's fantastic. It's a little undercut by the comedy of Vigilante, but appropriately so for this show.
Yeah, it fits the tone of it really well. Like it doesn't feel out of place in that sense.
Yeah, and I love Vigilante's like soft, intimate touch.
Yeah.
Dude, stop being a creep. Like,
yeah. John Economos is like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like Vigilante is a full sociopath.
Oh yeah.
Does not understand humans at all.
But like, still cares. Like it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Cena crushes it. Weird. He crushes this scene, and this is kind of the end of the episode, right? They have
the
to.
Moment with Eagly.
What?
Here's the moment with Eagly.
The moment with Eagly?
When he like hugs him.
That's the next episode.
Is it?
Yeah, it's and in the veterinary's clinic. That's next.
Oh, I thought that was the end of the episode. Oh god, we watched them back to back.
Yeah, we watched them back, so we might be a little off on timing.
I literally thought that scene was the end of the episode.
No, because the next episode starts with Adebayo and Harcourt showing up to.
Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Yeah,
unless I'm wrong.
To the veterinarian clinic, and they're like, do we need to kill the vet?
Vigilante is like, they've seen my face, and I was like, that's it's kind of fair, but also like I think everyone already knows. Well, maybe actually the police don't know who Vigilante is.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they just know who John is.
Yeah.
Or who Chris. God, the John Economos, John Cena, Chris. I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, the veterinarian's office. We get some good information. Number one, Eagly not dead.
Thank God.
Thank Jesus.
I was about to be very sad.
Thank DC Jesus, otherwise known as Jesus, I think.
I don't know.
I was gonna say Dark Side, but that would feel weird. I don't think Dark Side is like Jesus at all.
Does he walk on water?
But we get some great comedy with the nurses and the doctor and the male nurse joke.
Oh my God.
But we also get I love the bit of so Eagly hugs Peacemaker, and Adebayo sees it, and she's like, "Oh well, if eagles hug people,
I saw an eagle hug a man.
I'm in. I'm gonna tell my wife that, and she's gonna be in. We're in for the finale. Yeah. Harcourt, you're our leader now. Tell us the plan." And then it pans over to the veterinary staff with a giant gun.
Yeah, the girl like just finds. I mean, it's the United States, so like I guess people just have guns.
I think it was Peacemaker's gun. I just don't know how she got it.
Oh, maybe.
I think it's the one that he has later because it has the Dove of Peace on it.
Maybe. Yeah. I literally thought that this like veterinarian clinic like just had this machine gun in case of incidences.
America.
Like, I don't know. But like legitimately, I was like, oh, those Americans. Like,
those Americans.
Yeah.
And so we get that moment where they're like, no, you're not coming. And I was in that moment. I was kind of like, I feel like you could use the numbers.
They would just die.
Yeah, but do you care?
They don't need to die unnecessarily.
I mean, in this show. In real life, obviously.
You would have to tell them, look, there are butterflies.
They're there for the plan. They know. They are aware of that.
I guess, yeah. Just hanging out.
They seem ready to go. I would have been like, all right, you guys stay back, and if the shit hits the fan, start shooting.
No, they left them behind.
We are talking about world-ending... to them, these are world-ending stakes. I would be like, grab everyone you know.
That's true.
Because your lives, if we fail, your lives are over anyway.
You know what? It's true. It is America. You could just like yell down the street and be like, yo, guys, get your guns. Our freedom is under attack.
The problem is the people in that town who have the guns, they killed them in the last episode.
Oh, no, please. Everyone in that town has a gun.
Probably.
Literally everybody.
Someone's going to be so pressed that I said that. They're going to be like, the Second Amendment is for more than just the racists. And I'm like, yeah, but like...
I would not live that close to that many guns.
Yeah, we were close to that many guns in LA, though.
Yeah, but it's like LA. It's Hollywood, so it just feels
They're like Hollywood guns. It's different.
They just care about the sun. It's fine.
So it's time. It's time for the big... They got to go kill the cow. And they got to go to the farm to kill the cow.
Yep.
And I was like...
It's not a cow, but it is a cow.
Well, it's something.
It has udders.
You really did not like the image of it.
No.
It was very disturbing to you.
It was weird. The one tooth freaked me out.
I love that it's a slimy, giant, weird baby thing, and you're like, that one tooth.
It's the baby part that freaks me out because there is.
It did look like a baby, right?
Yeah, there is some cartoon, and I cannot remember what it is. But there's a cartoon where the baby has just like a tooth in the middle of its mouth.
I think it's a lot of cartoons.
Is it? I don't like it. I don't like it. It was a weird caterpillar baby, and that was being milked. Oh,
that's why they call it the cow.
I get that.
They were milking the cow.
They were milking the baby.
Yeah, I didn't like the way you said that at all. That was uncomfy for everybody involved.
You're welcome.
And then by that I mean just the two of us, because we're alone in this room talking to each other, because that's.
Well, Agatha's here.
No, Agatha did not follow us. I hope.
Agatha
was the ghost at our apartment.
Yeah.
Who stole 2 chicken breasts that we never found.
Yeah. Weird.
So
Anyways.
they show up, and it's bad. There's way too many people, and their brilliant plan is that John Economos is going to pretend that he has a butterfly in his brain.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna walk up and put a sonic boom helmet in the farm.
Yeah. No. Oh, the plan beforehand was that Eagly was gonna take the helmet, put it on the barn, and Eagly can't fucking understand what anyone's saying, right? And takes the helmet, drops it in the middle of the forest somewhere, and so they have to go find it.
And like they're terrible at looking for it.
Yeah,
they're like really
awful.
bad. Like first of all, they know where Eagly dropped it.
I know.
And then like they're just kind of walking around kicking at leaves, and I was like, you.
Yeah, and like the world is in danger, and y'all are just like meandering around.
We got some good character moments from it. You know, we got some good conversations, but I was kind of like, y'all, can we have some...
urgency was not there.
Can we be on the ball? The cow could have been teleported in any of those scenes.
Oh,
and
exactly.
they would have never known.
Yeah.
They're lucky the teleporter wasn't just already set up, which is a question I have, which is like, why was the teleporter... If you knew it was in danger...
Yeah.
If it's your one cow, the teleporter should already be ready.
Yeah.
Why did you take it apart? Because they must have used the teleporter to get it there.
Most likely. Yeah, I don't know. It was odd. Still a little bit confused as to... But hey, for the plot, we have to set up the teleporter.
Where did they keep the pieces of the teleporter? Did they have like a storage unit?
Yeah, they were like getting them out and setting them up.
No, I know they had them in a bunch of trucks, but like, where did they drive those trucks from? It's like the one plot hole at the end of the show is I was kind of just like sitting there being like, seems weird that you guys had all of this equipment somewhere.
Yeah. We need to buy more time for the heroes.
Yeah.
So you're just not going to have it already set up, which fine, whatever. I'll suspend my disbelief for you.
So we're going into the finale and we have a few helmets. We have the anti-gravitational helmet, which allows you to float, which Adebayo accidentally activates and lets fly away. So one helmet down. We have the sonic boom helmet, which Economos has to take to the barn in the pants that someone diarrheaed in, which is like one of those things that people still write into scripts as like a thing people might not know. But at this point, everyone knows that you shit when you die, right?
Yeah, although I've never seen anyone die, so I don't know if I believe it.
No, it's true. You evacuate your bowels the majority of the time when you die.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, everything just lets go and you just...
Cute. All right.
Yeah, but
that means serial killers have a lot of cleanup.
Do you know? I think they just leave it.
Well, no, a lot of them I don't know. It depends if you killed and then keep the body. Like it depends if you kill them where you want the body to be found, or if you
like pose it, you're like posing it, but there's like poop there.
Yeah, like that's.
I think that after you kill someone, that is not your biggest concern. You've just murdered someone.
Yeah, but like they're serial killers, right? They're like murder because it's fun, but they don't clean up poop because it's fun. I don't think
they like murder because I don't think that's what makes serial killers serial killers. I don't think serial killers are like serial killing for the same reasons that you and I went to Galaxy's Edge.
Well, no, but they enjoy it. Well, some of them enjoy it. Some of them are indifferent to it. It's complicated. But like you could be indifferent to murder, but like I don't think you can be indifferent to cleaning up someone's diarrhea. I'm just saying. It seems like that would matter, you know.
What is happening? I think you can be indifferent to murder, but I don't think you can be indifferent to cleaning up diarrhea.
If you're sociopath, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people who I don't know how we're talking about this, but I feel like there's a lot of people who their job is to clean up diarrhea, and like they are pretty indifferent to it.
Well, because they have to be, because like they get paid for it. That's how they make their living. But like
so you think that serial killers are in like a different like mindset than like a nurse who's cleaning up like an elderly patient?
Well, yeah, a serial killer's not getting paid to kill people sometimes.
You don't know that.
A bounty
They might be
hunter,
getting
probably.
paid very well.
Yeah.
Bounty hunters do not kill people.
Says who?
That's because
How many bounty hunters have you met?
a few.
Exactly.
Their goal is to bring them back to go face trial. Their bounty hunters aren't
No, I mean like bounty hunters like this rich person is like, hey, that person knows too much about me. Can you just,
Oh, you mean like assassins?
Yeah.
Oh,
same thing.
Anyway, so Peacemaker is a television show that airs on HBO Max. Let's talk about that. So John gets all the way into this building, and like he has a conversation where he's like, "I'm an alien," and the guy's like, "All right, cool." So he walks into this building, and he makes it all the way there.
No,
and then freaks out.
Oh no, wait, is that after he comes out?
Yeah, it's that the diebeard conversation's after, but
I was like, you forgot the best part.
He gets all the way in.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he vomits, I guess. But he's already there, and I was like, how much further was he supposed to go?
Yeah, he gets in there and then sees the cow and books it.
He doesn't see the cow.
Yeah, that's why he drops the bag and runs.
No, he doesn't even go down the stairs. He just gets inside the barn and then stops.
No, he goes down the stairs because he drops the bag on the stairs where the guy finds it.
Right.
Yeah. No, he sees the cow.
Right.
And he's like, that's a weird looking baby. I'm leaving.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Where was he? Was he supposed to take the helmet all the way to the cow?
They weren't really clear on that. I think
I thought he was trying to get it to the barn, and they did. So I was like, oh, he
did get it to the barn. I think that the plan, was that he's like on like comms with Harcourt, right? I think he was supposed to like tell them what he saw so that they could find the best place to like put it, right? Because you could put it under a support beam or like next to the cow, like they would like figure it out, and he just sees that thing and he nopes out of there, which like
he does.
Fair.
I honestly I was kind of hoping he was gonna like have his moment here, because he's had these 3 victories, right? He had the golf club victory, he had the chainsaw victory, he had the machine gun victory, and I was like, we're gonna see John Economos have he's gonna see it and he's gonna like find a new level of Economos in him. And he does not.
I think that'll be season 2.
Yeah, he nopes out pretty hard.
Yeah.
And he gets caught by it's, oh my god, it's the kid from The Sixth Sense, all grown up, isn't it? Isn't that actor the kid from The Sixth Sense? No? It's not Haley Joel Osment?
No, it's not. Haley Joel Osment is not in this.
I really thought that was...
You mean the cop guy?
Yeah, isn't that Haley Joel Osment?
Not Haley Joel Osment.
I thought that was Haley Joel Osment grown up.
No.
I need to find out who this cop is then, because this whole time I thought it was Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment does not look like that.
Okay, you talk about the diebeard moment, and I'm going to find out who he was.
Oh my god. Wow, I am in shock. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So then we get like one of my favorite moments from the whole series, where the police, like, he was like the deputy. He was like the partner.
No, he was Song's partner.
Partner. Yeah. He's like, hey, you, why did your human do their beard like that? And this whole time they've been making fun of him for like dyeing his beard. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then in full view of everyone and on the comms, he used to be like, my human thought it would make him look younger, but he wasn't paid well enough, so he couldn't keep it.
And he was too lazy to keep.
Which is funny to me because like you have like lighter parts here.
Yeah.
But his, I don't.
No, but his was the roots. Like you could see that his hair, the hair, like I have like whiter hairs here and darker hairs under here. Yeah, but those hairs are consistent all the way down. Whereas his, like you could see halfway through them.
Yeah, it was very funny to me to watch this grown man just have to confess his sins while like sobbing. Well, the guys who were making fun of him could hear him. Anyways, it was brilliant. It was well done, well acted.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the one racist who is in jail, who is now a butterfly, comes out and is like, "Yo, this guy just left this bag in here," and they like zombie swarm him. They like run at him, take him down. Are you still looking for this person?
Yeah, I can't find him.
I guarantee you it's not Haley Joel Osment.
It's not Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
I feel like his IMDb photo doesn't look like him.
I think you should look up what Haley Joel Osment looks like. And then you'll know.
Maybe it's this guy.
Oh my god. It's funny, I can't see your phone anymore. You put the screen protector on and I'm at
Oh, that's
an
right.
angle.
But like IMDb's website, oh my god. Okay.
It's not great. It's not great.
Is it this guy? No, it's not that guy.
Just look up what Haley Joel Osment looks like, please. I want to see your reaction. Because you are going to be...
Oh no, wait, Haley Joel Osment's in he's in The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was very wrong.
Yeah, you were very wrong.
I can't believe I was so off.
Normally I'm wrong.
I really thought it was Haley Joel Osment the whole show.
No.
Cool.
No. But yeah, so they take down Economos, and so
he's fine though.
He's fine. Yeah, it's weird. They pile onto him, but then he's fine. Except when he trips and breaks his leg.
And like shatters his ankle on a beam.
I thought he like snapped his calf.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah.
Anyways, it was like so gruesome for like tripping. I was like,
but they use the sonic boom helmet.
They do, yeah. Activate sonic boom, and it goes boom.
Well, what's so smart is you get that like first boom, and everyone turns and they start running at it, and they're like, not yet, not yet. Now activate sonic boom. Jing!
Yeah.
And like watching the ones at the front get like ripped to shreds was awesome. Like that the way they use the sonic boom, the effect, the sound effect of it was really cool, and I love that a lot.
Yeah.
But we get we're kind of in the final confrontation now. Like Peacemaker gets to the building. Harcourt, they start running in because the helmet runs out of charges, and so they're running in and they're fighting these super powered humans.
Yeah, because the butterflies kind of give them extra strength, I guess.
Yeah, but what I justified it in my brain as being like, you know what? The butterflies might be super strong, but they just started inhabiting these new bodies, so they're probably a little awkward with it. Because they are like going full on video game mode, just like pow, pow, kill, pow, kill, pow, pow, kill, pow, pow. Like they're crushing it. Vigilante is moving like he is fine, even though he was very injured like 6 hours ago.
Well, yeah, he was very injured, and then he's like, not? And I was like, how much time passed? It's not a lot. What?
I'm pretty sure the vegetarian patched him up. Veterinarian.
I thought you were saying that because Vigilante was a vegetarian, he had like...
No, the veterinarian, not the vegetarian.
Wow.
Oh my god, I'm so dyslexic.
That was great. Well done, babe.
Oh my god.
I'm so proud of you.
This is why I don't read aloud very often. Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah, the vegetarians patched him up. Yeah.
I think, and they must have, right? Because he's fine. He's killing.
He's 100% fine until he gets shot in the back, stabbed in the back.
Well, John Cena they don't start getting hurt until John Cena gets into the building.
Yeah, they're totally fine.
They're all fine until then. And they've left Economos and Adebayo behind because Amanda Waller said so. And when Amanda Waller says so, you do what she says. But they did try and call the Justice League, and you're like, oh, maybe the Justice League will show up. And at the time, I was like, at that moment, I was like, someone from the Justice League is going to show up.
Yeah.
But I thought it was not going to be like the movie Justice League. I thought it would be like a comics Justice League character.
Yeah.
Like I thought we were going to get like a Green Arrow because they'd made some jokes about him earlier, or like someone who, like, I don't know, someone like a C tier Justice League member.
Not like all of the A tier.
Yeah. And we'll get to that. We will talk about the cameo at the end. But Chris gets to the building, and he's going down the stairs, and then he falls into a slip and slide that was apparently built underneath the stairs.
Yeah, he takes a little tumble off the cliff, and gets buried under like a lot of rubble, I guess.
Yeah, and so Adebayo and John Economos get to Harcourt. She sends Adebayo inside. John is like crawling because he broke his leg. And I love the way that they did this. Adebayo gets to the bottom of the stairs and finds the like rubble, and she starts pulling at it. And then they cut to Peacemaker, and he's like, he reaches out, and we are like, oh, Adebayo, they're together. They're gonna be working together. And Song pulls him out. And I was like, that was the bait and switch of that, the way it was shot. I was like, God damn, James Gunn.
Really
God, you're talented.
You crushed it.
And, you're like, okay, big bad, big hero, big fight.
No.
Conversation time. In a moment. First, Adebayo has to human torpedo herself into a wall.
Yeah, that was sad.
Hilarious.
It's very funny.
Like, so funny. And the amazing thing is she leaves the helmet on after that. I would have been like, never touching this again.
I mean, she has a concussion.
Oh, at the very minimum.
She is
bare
not,
minimum.
She is not thinking.
Peacemaker's like, if you use this, you might break all of your bones.
Yeah.
And so we get like the big reveal of the finale here that the butterflies come from a world ravaged by climate change, and that they're trying to stop us from ravaging our world with climate change. And to that I say, you're too late. It's already 2022.
Doesn't matter anymore. We're all gonna die. But also the things that you were saying, it was very clear where the inspiration was. But things like people felt like the slightest inconvenience was a taking away of their freedoms.
Yeah.
Things like that. And I was like,
watching that right now with the trucker convoy in Canada, which is just like the silliest protest ever. And I'm sorry if you're on the side of that convoy, I don't know what to tell you. It's dumb. They're protesting a mandate that doesn't matter because you have to be vaccinated to cross into the States. So having to be vaccinated to cross back into Canada, fighting the Canadian side mandate, but not fighting the American side mandate. There are clearly other things at play. It is just so obviously not what they say that it's about.
Oh, no, 100%. And that's why you see Nazi flags there, because it's people wanting an excuse.
That's a small percentage. And I want to say that's a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think the majority of the truckers there are there because they're white supremacists.
For sure, but if you look over and your neighbor's flying a Nazi flag, maybe you're in the wrong place.
I think the majority of the people in that protest, though, are being misled by the media. And I think that by the media they're consuming, and I think that it is the same for the conversation that she's having, where she's like, like the division and the stuff.
Yeah. People were divided and like angry and didn't care, and that their world was destroyed, and so the butterflies saw Earth and were like, we can stop these people from doing the same things that happened to us.
By murdering a bunch of people.
Yes, yes. By murdering a bunch of people, taking over their bodies, infiltrating the system, and like not really giving humans the free will to decide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that, and I thought it was so clever. This, like, because this makes it very clear, right? Peacemaker's thing about peace no matter the cost.
Yes.
Really is tested in this moment, and I legitimately wasn't sure what was going to happen, because that is his like fundamental value, is that people can live peacefully. It just you gotta like
get your hands started
to do it. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And this was taken to such an extreme that in this moment it's like he realized what this belief he'd had his entire life. And he's like, whoa, wait a second. I need to step back because it's not...
Well, no, he couldn't step back. Because if he had stepped back, he would have been in the line of
the torpedo. Right. So
activate human torpedo.
And
poor Adebayo is just so not ready to be launched again.
Launched into the cow.
Can we just talk... Can we talk for 1 second about this, though? James Gunn, what is your thing with having your female protagonists end up inside of kaijus at the end of your DC projects? Because Harley goes into the eye with the javelin, and I like, is it a thing?
Maybe he's into vor.
Does James Gunn have a vor fetish?
Hey, no kink shame.
No kink shame. No, I'm not kink. I'm just asking.
Genuinely curious.
You know what? We're just asking questions. Much like that media that leads people to silly protests. We're just asking questions. Wow, we're really we're gonna alienate some people with this one.
This one's spicy, but like.
But at the same time, that's what the show is, right? Like this show is the testament to me of good political conversations in nerd medium.
Yes.
And I think it's funny, right? Because we're with the Lord of the Rings stuff going on, with the Wheel of Time stuff going on, with the Star Wars stuff going on. We're seeing a lot of people be like, I don't want politics in my geekdom, right? And what's so funny to me is that like
that is art.
The Empire are Nazis. Like that's literally what Star Wars started with politics.
Yeah.
right? I think that
this is not new. Like,
I think that certain things like Lord of the Rings maybe have less politics in the source material, but
they were written 70 years ago.
But there's a lot of, but the world was different at the time. The world was a lot less complicated in the eyes of those authors, right?
Yeah.
J.R. Tolkien is a World War I veteran, right? Like, he just had a different perspective on the world than I think that we do now. And I think that Sauron is more political than people think in terms of his relationship to World War I.
Oh, 100%.
And I just think there's politics in all of this, and to take the politics out is impossible. Yeah. And
the orcs are literally like the I don't want to say the Industrial Revolution, but basically like humans destroying the planet.
Oh,
right? The Ents represent Earth and goodness, and the orcs are literally burning them, cutting down all the trees, and like destroying everything. Like, that is still politics.
Yeah, and so I think that like the politics in the show, I think, are going to be alienating for some people. But I think that if you find the politics of this show alienating, it says a lot about you, because the version of the political argument that James Gunn is making is against the worst of one side of the argument. Yeah. And I think, you know, in a way you can sometimes soften that by also commenting on the worst of the other side, and this does not do that. There isn't a lot of talk about the left in this. It is very much a hard push against the far right, but I think that he doesn't pull his punches, and I also don't think that any of his punches go too far. I think that he's absolutely right in his commentary of the moment with the satire of the show.
I actually think that the way that the butterflies handle the situation is a comment on the far left.
Interesting.
Of controlling of controlling narratives, controlling people, and kind of like sheep herding them in a way that you want them to, right? With this like, with the hardcore like political correctness that kind of goes too far to a point.
Yeah.
I do think that there is definitely commentary there as well, because that there is a lot of people that are on the far left that, you know, have those ideas about control in a way that's not healthy, like that is legitimately taking away freedom.
You are right. Like, there is definitely like a parallel to be drawn to like communism in the and like a sort of like liberal fascism in the way that the butterflies behave. That's 100% true. You're right.
Yeah, it's definitely less so, for sure. Right. Yeah. It is like,
it's less obvious because it's through the lens of an alien species, as opposed to directly pulling up, hey, these are racists
white supremacists
with white hoods on, right? Like, it's easier to draw the real world comparison, but also like, if you are defending the racists, it's like, I don't have sympathy for you. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't like the show because you were like, but it says racism is bad, then like, it's hard for me to like give a shit. I don't care, right? Yeah. I quite enjoy watching racists get their comeuppance. Yeah. That's good art to me. And you know, I think that all of the actors who were a part of that did a great job. I think they portrayed their roles really well, and I commend them for doing it. I have played a racist a number of times as a 6'4" white guy and an actor. It is hard to do. It's not something that's like necessarily fun, but it feels necessary when you're doing it. And I think that, you know, we need to tell stories about this stuff, and I'm comfortable saying and doing awful things on a stage or on a screen, as long as the purpose of it is to either make fun of it or to show that it is
how
wrong,
awful it is, how wrong it is. Yeah.
And I think that it's important that we tell those stories, and unfortunately, you know, you have to hire people, and there are actors who are going to have to portray those roles, and you know, it's fun to work, but sometimes it's tough to show up to work.
Yeah, if you're in cabaret and you're like the Nazis in it, like that's tough. That is a hard thing to do. Yeah. And I think it's just so silly when people say that like art shouldn't be political, when art has literally always been political since the beginning of art. You know what I mean? Like,
what art isn't political? Like,
well, no, in the middle, you can go back to the freaking Middle Ages when like the church was like, no, nothing, like everything is bad except what we say is not bad, and literally like art was the way that you could kind of circumvent those really oppressive ideals that were being put on you. And
well, and you can even look back at like the jesters of like the medieval era, right? Like the whole purpose of the jesters was to be like the one person in the court who could make fun of the king.
Yes.
And there's always been a political subversion to art, right? To entertainment. There's always, it's existed through all of it. And so I think that, sometimes I think it's done poorly. I don't think that every instance of political use in art is great. I do think, though, that the way it's used in Peacemaker is fantastic. And I to bring back to Peacemaker, I think that what James Gunn had to say about the political moment that we're in right now through the show was what handled in a way that a controversial figure like James Gunn, who has had, there was a reason he got fired from Guardians, right? There's a reason he's back on it, because the reason he got fired was dumb, in my opinion. But,
I don't remember.
He got fired for some tweets that were like 10 years old, that were like really like off-color jokes.
Okay, right. But we learn and we grow as people, and we realize when we say stuff that's
well, and also they were like bad jokes, but like they were not that bad. You know what I mean? And like, but even in the moment, but no, even at the time, those surface, and I was like, really? Like, I think there was a collective, like, he got fired, and everyone was kind of like, Disney, what are you doing? Like, this is not.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they brought him back for Guardians 3, because everyone was like, this is dumb,
really?
and they're like, well, we fired him for like a year, and so like a year, he really
paid
felt
his dues.
It felt like they were like, well, he was punished enough because the movie's going to come out a year later.
You can come off of timeout now. Well, and that literally circles around to the butterflies, and that amount of like control like trying to control a narrative and a pathway for people.
What if the butterflies are his criticism of Disney? And he's like, he gets his digs in before he goes back and makes, another 2 movies for Disney.
I love it. It's art, and it's done well. You know what I mean? It is done really,
this whole
really
series was done so well.
James Gunn crushed it. I cannot wait to see Peacemaker season 2. Like, there's so much in here. The one thing we haven't touched on yet also is his dad being in his head, and like
his dad is going to be in Peacemaker season 2 despite being dead, and I think it's important.
I think it would be too easy if you just shot him in the head and it was fine. Like, he has to deal with this, and he has a lot of stuff to work through, right? Because he's a grown man and has been through years and years and years of trauma, and you don't just get over that by like shooting the guy responsible in the head. That's not how the world works.
Well, and based on the way season 1's written, I'm really excited to see them explore someone genuinely work through their trauma.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're going to get that. It feels like we're really going to get a processing of trauma in an authentic way to a character who isn't good. Like, Peacemaker, despite the fact that he does save the world here, and he does send his friend Adebayo into the guts of a cow, a space cow, to kill it so that the butterflies can all die off.
Yep.
Despite the fact that he is the hero at the end of this, he is not a good person. And I'm excited for a show where maybe he could be. And I'm excited to watch a redemption arc in season 2 where this character could legitimately become a good person who has a bad past, who's done terrible things, admittedly, but a good person. And I think that as someone, I'm a firm believer that we can all change. I'm a firm believer that we can all grow, and that like our actions in our past do not define us forever.
I agree.
And granted, it's easy for me to say that because I don't have that questionable past. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, like, there are people in this world that like I can forgive because they're trying to do better. Right?
Yeah.
People make mistakes. People fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, Vigilante maybe not, but like everyone else in the show is redeemable.
Vigilante's like actual sociopath.
But I want more of him.
Yeah,
I want more. I love him. I love him so much.
He's great, right? But it's, I'm excited to see what they handle and how they go about it in season 2, because this is like a big story.
Yeah. Right.
This is going to take time, and I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be crass. I think it's going to be heartfelt, and I think it's going to be like tear-jerking, and I can't wait for it.
So, you said you think the butterflies are going to continue into season 2. How do you think, why do you think that? Because they seem pretty clear that they're going to be dead within a few weeks.
Yeah, but they still have all those ships. They have technology. Maybe there are other, I don't know. I just think that like...
Because their planet's dead. There's nothing on their planet anymore, right? Like, they can't like go get another cow. Or at least that's what they've said in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there is a sect of butterflies who have fabricated another kind of food source for them.
Okay. I feel like it's going to move on to a different villain.
Yeah.
I think that like, because I don't know thematically what more story you have to tell with the butterflies. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I think that what would be interesting. I think that what would be interesting is if Peacemaker season 2 moves on, and then in a like later season, you have like 1 or 2 butterflies who exist that like come back as not villains anymore because they've like evolved somehow. I don't know. That is like so far fetched and has no evidence. But I think it would be fun, right? If Goff came back again and was just like not trying to take over the world.
Well, it does seem interesting. You know, we do get that final scene with Goff.
Exactly, and Peacemaker is giving him the rest of the food because. And
Peacemaker, Goff, and his dad, like the two villains.
Yeah.
And Eagly, obviously, who while I was looking for who that I thought was Haley Joel Osment, is voiced by D. Bradley Baker.
The Eagly's voice?
Yeah, Eagly is voiced by D. Bradley Baker, the voice actor who does all of the clones in Clone Wars. All of the eagle noises were made by D. Bradley Baker, one of like the most prolific voice actors
they didn't just,
of
like,
my life.
Get eagle noises? Okay.
No, but it's kind of like how Alan Tudyk voiced the chicken in Moana.
Oh, yeah.
All the chicken noises in Moana were Alan Tudyk.
Right.
Yeah. And so it warmed my heart to see D. Bradley Baker was in this because I love him so much, and
that is very cool.
He's so good at the clones in Bad Batch. He's just he's such an incredible voice actor, and it's get your bag, get that money.
Do you think that Peacemaker and Harcourt end up romantically involved somehow?
Ooh,
somewhere down the line.
I maybe. I don't care either way, honestly. Like, I think that it's not a priority for me. I think that I'm more interested in like the group as a group. I'm hoping that Adebayo's wife becomes a bigger part of season 2.
I agree.
I like that actress quite a bit.
Yeah, she's wonderful. And I have a feeling she will be because we see Adebayo fully call out her mother on public television.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
which is going to have consequences, right?
Oh,
like there's going to be
it's going to be a big part of next season.
Amanda Waller is a bad person.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller will
probably kill her daughter or try to.
A supervillain who happens to work for the American government.
Yeah.
And like it has good intentions, right? But like Amanda Waller is one of the most incredible characters in comics in my opinion because of I hate her. Yeah. I hate her so much.
She's
and
like
yet,
the Umbridge.
It's good. No. She's not a villain in that sense. Like, she's not, like, harming children. Umbridge is way worse. Umbridge is actively harming children.
Okay. All right.
Like, Amanda Waller is using supervillains to fight giant supervillain threats. Like, I don't think that's the same as, like,
no, I just mean that,
torturing children.
I mean as storytelling devices, right? You have Voldemort, which is the main villain. So you have, like, the butterflies who are the main villain. But then you have the person that you hate.
Waller isn't a villain though. That's what's so interesting about it. She has.
But she's a bad person.
Oh yeah. But she is on the side of good. Like everything she's doing is to continue the human race, right? She is just aware of threats that other people aren't aware of.
She's like the butterflies.
But she's not trying to. No, but she's trying.
People for the good of mankind.
No, she uses supervillains to fight other supervillains so that regular people can have free will.
But is willing to sacrifice people who are not villains.
Not really. She only really uses like Task Force X is all supervillains.
Yeah, but like
Amanda Waller isn't like picking people up off the street and making them fight supervillains. She's taking people out of prison who have death sentences and letting them fight other supervillains to not die. Yeah,
but wasn't she at the end of the Suicide Squad like willing to just let all the civilians in that town die?
She does kill in the first Suicide Squad movie. She does kill everybody who works for her.
Right?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
she's not a good person.
Oh no, she's bad. I'm just saying that she's not like Umbridge is worse to me because she is like actively torturing children, and that is a dumb distinction to make because Waller kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
But Waller isn't a villain in the sense that Waller's intention is to save humanity from destruction, and she'll do anything. She is more Peacemaker than Peacemaker, right? Yeah. Peacemaker says he'll kill any man, woman, and child for peace. Mm-hmm. Waller will actually do it.
Right.
Waller will do anything to keep America going.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Right,
including Call the Justice League.
Yep.
Way to be late, Barry Allen.
Yeah, you'd think of anybody you could be on time, but
he never is though. He's always late.
Damn.
He's famously late.
Well, if I had super speed, I feel like I
would be late because you would always be saving someone's life. And so there's always going to be some reason for you to be 5 minutes late.
You put too much faith in me. If I had super speed, I wouldn't tell anybody. I would keep that to myself.
I know. You would save people's lives. You would never tell anyone, but you'd tell me.
I would tell you.
Because it would be too hard to hide it.
That's true.
But then I wouldn't have to drive you everywhere. It would be nice.
You know what? It would be really nice.
It would be nice. You could go to LA and for a day trip.
That would be so nice.
Yeah.
Just soak up the vitamin D. Come back home for dinner. I love it. Anyways, yeah, we get Barry Allen, we get Aquaman, who fucks fish, and we get the shadow of Superman.
Yeah.
And there was another shadow there. Was it Wonder Woman?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I was like, I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, we're just getting silhouettes. That's fun. But no, we actually got 2 of those actors back. Yeah. Ezra Miller, who everyone has just forgiven, so I guess we've all moved on. And Jason Momoa, who I love dearly. And who I think is an absolutely incredible human.
Yeah.
And love him and his water company. If you don't know about his water company, check it out. He is trying to get rid of plastic water bottles and transform everything into like cans, because cans are easier to recycle and less difficult on the environment. And so I just love him. I love him so much. And so we get a scene between them where, Peacemaker says that Aquaman fucks fish. And then we've said the F word a lot. We might get demonetized on this one. Barry Allen is like, oh, but you do though. And Aquaman's like, fuck you, Barry. And, I'm usually the guy saying that I want the Justice League to be for everyone. But this is a Justice League cameo inside of an adult property, so I don't actually mind the language here.
Yeah, it fits the theme.
I am just hopeful that future Justice League productions will be PG-13 so that they can be for everyone the way they were when I was a kid and when I fell in love with them. And I know that I'm alone on that hill a lot of the time, and that there's a lot of people who are like, I don't care, I'm an adult, Justice League can be for adults, not because I'm an adult. But I am the guy who, I will fight this forever. I want comics to stay for kids because that's when I fell in love with them, and I think that that's who it matters the most to. Like, those moral stories are most important to children, and a lot of the adults who are saying that they want dark and gritty Batman never learned the lessons of those comics to begin with, so they kind of failed media literacy in that way when they were kids, but that's fine.
Shots fired!
We're not gonna have an audience soon. I'm going to dig us too many holes.
No, we're gonna have an audience of, like, cool, like, actual cool people.
I think it's gonna be a lot of people who hate watch us, because I say things like, if you think that Batman should kill people, you failed media literacy. Anyway, it was cool to see them, and it was really weird to find out that Ezra Miller was filmed on the set of a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
James Gunn has said, like, yeah, Marvel filmed this for us. It was really nice of them on the set of Guardians 3, and I'm like, that's so weird.
Hey, you know what? They don't need to be enemies.
They aren't. And here's the thing, they aren't, right?
No.
It is just so weird to me to think that, like, the Guardian, like, Chris Pratt was standing there in his Star-Lord costume, and Ezra Miller walked out in a Flash suit. You know what I mean? Like, it's bonkers.
Oh, yeah. It's literally the fans that are like, Marvel versus DC. But it's never been Marvel versus DC.
I mean, it is in, like, a, in like, a corporate competitive way. But, like, not in
a, like, mudslinging way.
No, I mean, they've tried to buy each other. A lot of the artists work on both, right? Like, it's not,
Yeah, it never feels weird. It's the, like, fans, the, like, dude bros who make it weird.
Also, from a corporate level, they've congratulated each other multiple times on various successes, right?
Yeah,
like,
I love that.
I think especially now that we essentially have only 2 companies left, like, it's like Warner Brothers versus Disney, they have less reason to fight, because it's like, well, you have the market share is not, you're not fighting over a small market share, you're fighting over, you both have half of it, can go have fun, you
won.
It's not like Paramount is going to make a huge comeback in the next couple of years.
Sorry.
Or, I mean, Universal still does all right when a Fast and the Furious movie comes out, but, like, it really is like Warner Brothers and DC are the 2 big companies.
Warner Brothers and Disney.
Disney, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice to see them. It was fun. It was fun to have the Justice League actually show up in a show like this. I never thought it would happen.
Yeah, it was cool.
Makes me think, like, when the Gotham PD series comes out, that is a spin-off of Matt Reeves' Batman movie. Is there a chance maybe Batman shows up in that, right? Like, we have precedent now that these are going to be as intertwined as the Disney shows, the Disney Plus shows are to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Where, like, you might get an Avenger, you might get a Justice League member in these streaming shows, and that's awesome, right? Because Ezra Miller already showed up in an episode of The Flash in the Crisis, and it was so awesome to see him interact with Grant Gustin's Barry Allen. I really liked having those 2 characters together, regardless of my feelings towards Ezra Miller and that whole situation. And I don't know how I feel about it still, but it's really awesome that we're getting these DC HBO Max shows being treated with the same reverence that I think we are getting from the Disney Plus Marvel ones. And as a fan of all the shit who, like, gets really excited when the Justice League and the Avengers show up, I loved it. And, I'm glad they weren't there more. I think it would have taken away from the characters' journeys if they had, like, participated more this time.
No, it was just enough. It was perfect. It was just enough. All we needed.
And you get the payoff of Peacemaker's been making all these comments about the event or the Justice League this whole time. And then they show up and he gets to have the moment of, like, wow, way to show up on time. Like,
I wish Batman had been there.
Yeah, I think it's tough because I think that DC's still trying to figure out who Batman is right now. Because it looks like it's going to be Michael Keaton based on those set photos, and he looks so good. Batgirl cannot come soon enough, in my opinion. And you know what else can't come soon enough is season 2 of Peacemaker, because I love this show.
Yeah, me too.
This is my favorite TV show I've seen in a couple years.
Yeah, it really grew on me. Like you know, like I said in the beginning, I wasn't sure it was my cup of tea, but I really loved it. You know, you did a great job. You made a good show, and everyone who was a part of it was just fantastic. Like, kudos.
Yeah, I think like beginning to end, out of all the Star Wars Disney Plus shows and all of the Marvel Disney Plus shows and all the HBO Max stuff that we've seen, this is my favorite of those shows. Like, I would put this above anything from Marvel. And there are moments in those shows that I think are higher highs than some of the high highs of this. But in terms of like consistency, every single Marvel and Star Wars show on Disney Plus, there's been moments where I've been like, you know, it like dips a little bit here. This doesn't have that for me. I think every episode was like, just because the story that they're telling is so character driven, and I love the characters, and I felt like I was taken on a ride from beginning, middle, and end that was just so succinct and so focused and so well told. I just like, and I love all of them, right? Like, there's none of them that I think are bad. Loki is like the closest for me, in that I struggle a bit with how it ends. But you know, Loki will get a season 2, which will probably clean that up for me and make that a little bit easier. But this for me is the most consistently solid show on these streaming services from the big, you know, fandoms. And I was just blown away by it. I think that it is important satirical storytelling right now. I think that it is well acted, well written, the actions all shot incredibly. It looks so good because you have this incredible film director making it. Like, a Peacemaker just blew me away, and it
never felt like a TV budget, you know?
Yeah, and it has the best opening sequence of any show.
Any show ever.
Like, that opening dance is one of the funniest. We've never skipped it.
No, I want to recreate it so bad. Yeah. Like, it's so good.
I've watched it on its own probably 40 times in the last like 8 weeks. And I'm just, and look, I love James Gunn. I'm not surprised that I love it. I've always loved his movies ever since I was a kid. And this is just another one on a long list of James Gunn productions that I was blown away by. But this is the most surprising, I think, in a long time, because I didn't expect to love the show.
Yeah.
And I do. I love it. I love John Cena so much more than I ever have now. And I was that kid who was watching wrestling when John Cena was like the thing.
Yeah.
And to me, John Cena was like the guy for a while when I was a very different person. And yeah, this show is just, it's incredible. And I'm so excited to see the growth of John Cena. I'm so excited to see all of these actors. Steve Agee, a comedian I love so much. It's just, it was a joy, and it was a joyful 8 weeks for me to watch the show.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
For next season.
Well, and just for like what it means for DC television, right? Like the resources they put behind this show. If we get resources like this on that Gotham PD show starring Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, like, that sounds incredible. Like, I hope that they have the same level of vision that James Gunn had for this, because I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? Yeah. I think that more and more we're realizing that, you know, you need vision behind these things. If it feels like it's too corporate paint by numbers, that's where it can kind of fall apart. And you know, we haven't watched something with as much vision and like clarity to it as I think this has had.
Yeah, for sure. Because there have definitely been a lot of DC movies that are, yikes, like, not good, right?
Yeah.
And it's this, they went for something, and it was a bold choice, and it really paid off, and I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? Is there anything we missed?
No.
I did love, there was I think it's called Giant Freaking Robot or something like that. They put out a thing being like, Bane is confirmed by one of our sources for season 2. And James Gunn tweeted back at them and was like, nope. Maybe do some research before you put stuff on your website. And he like totally called them out. And I was really happy to see that, because I hate those people who are out there scooping things that are just straight up lies for clicks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. If they lie to you, they don't give a shit.
Journalistic integrity. Not worth much anymore. Nope. But that's going to be our spoiler chat for today. Come back tomorrow. We're going to have a Book of Boba Fett finale up for that. Spoilers for that spoiler chat. Are you as hot up for that as you were for the finale of this? No. We're going to have some things to talk about.
Yeah.
I liked it. But there's a lot to talk about. As always, y'all, you can follow us around the internet. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
That is right, you are Polaris.
I know.
Name change, y'all.
Still a little bit weird, but I'm getting used to it.
I don't know. I kind of love it. Although we did get a message from someone who was like, you and Polaris. And I was like, oh, weird. Like, people aren't calling you Clarice, they're calling you Polaris. And I was like, that's odd.
Oh.
But that is a conversation to have at a later time. Maybe Monday morning on our nightly morning show, which will be back. We'll be doing the news, shenanigans, all of that stuff. Clarus will make up the news. It's going to be a good time. Will she prepare for it? No, she won't. She never does. And follow us over on Twitch. I'm over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
I'm over at twitch.tv/Claris Polaris.
I will be live tomorrow playing some Horizon and starting attempt 4 of Brilliant Diamond in my Nuzlocke series. Forbidden West has been pretty great so far, so definitely come check that out. Mm-hmm. And as always, y'all,
do something nerdy tonight. Bye.